Let me tell you something. God has not run out of testimonies, okay? God is still out here blessing folks, and God is out here still showing up because he showed up for me. And I thought he forgot about me. As you grow and asking God to prepare you for better things, you're going to be required to do the harder things. To whom much is given, much is required. When you want to do a fast, it's to become more in tune with God, to become more in tune with your purpose, to understand what he wants for you, and to fight back against whatever is delaying your destiny, to fight back spiritually against whatever could be delaying your progress in the spirit realm, because the enemy is always going to be trying to stop you. And we may not be able to see with our physical eyes what is stopping us. Some things require prayer and fasting in order to stop it. I was like, hold on. Yes, I want to be What's good, y'all? Welcome to the 34th episode of the JRNE Podcast with your girl, Jada Christine. Today's episode is a testimony service, okay? I won't be looking at my notes. I won't be distracted. It's not going to be hella cut up and spliced and trimmed because I forgot my words. This is all coming off the dome. I'm shooting it straight to you how it happened. I actually do have notes because of what I journaled / typed during this fast. But this isn't a message today. I'm here to encourage you based off of what God has done in this season of my life. And I think we all get to that point where we start to think in our walk like, dang, God doesn't have anything good for me. Dang, God, life is kind of hard. I thought you were a God of blessings. I thought you were a God who took care of his children. We've all gotten to that point where we question based off of what our life looked like and what we've seen in the word, what we've seen in other people's lives, based on others' testimonies. And let me tell you something. God has not run out of testimonies, okay? God is still out here blessing folks. God is still out here providing for his children. God is out here still showing up because he showed up for me. And I thought he forgot about me. I thought he didn't see me anymore, but he sees me. And this season has just reminded me so much of that. And that's what we're talking about today. Today's episode is a testimony. It's about what happened during my 21-day fast. If you guys enjoy this episode as you're listening, please like, comment, subscribe, share this video with a friend who may need some encouragement. Share this on your social media platforms. Do whatever you gotta do. Or, you know what, just tell me what you thought about it in the comments. I'm gonna start off by saying this. I don't like fasting, okay? I think my biggest issue in life, in my walk at this point in my life, is discipline, more so spiritual discipline. Sometimes I can be lazy, and I just have to be honest about that. Sometimes I can be lazy. Sometimes I don't want to do the hard things. I want to be in my little soft life era. You know, I don't like doing the hard things. I don't think anybody enjoys doing the hard things, but I avoided fasting for a long time. I didn't think it was necessary. You know, growing up, that wasn't the thing that was instilled in me. I remember being in church and there being church fasts, and I remember being like, what is a fast? Like, I literally thought it was the word fast, meaning you run with speed like a track star or something. But no, now I understand that fasting is abstaining from something. There has been a few distinct fasts that I've done in my life that I can remember. Or no, two. There are two distinct fasts that I've done in my life that I can remember, and this is one of them. The first fast I did was when I first came to Christ. I had a really strong attachment to music, and secular music specifically. I've told you guys before, I don't believe all secular music is bad, but the music I listen to, I like trap rap, I like the City Girls, like not specifically the City Girls artists, but all the City Girl rappers. I liked very vulgar, very provocative, very aggressive, violent music. I was a music head. I liked it all, okay? But at that point in my life when I first came to Christ, my sister invited me to do a secular music fast with her where we only listen to gospel music. And we did this for a week. After that fast, I tried to go back to my original playlist and I just couldn't listen to it the same way. And this is when I first came to God, like fresh in this walk. And that fast just put me on the trajectory to becoming a new person and doing things differently. And I'm grateful that I did that fast. But after that, I didn't get in the habit of fasting regularly. I have never fasted from food. And I'm going to get to that in a second because maybe some of y'all are going to be like, girl, fasting from things, that's not a real fast. That's not a real Christian fast. But I'm going to get to that, okay? I'm going to get to that. So what I learned during this fast is that what worked in a previous season may not work in the next. And that as you grow and get into new places, go into doing new things and asking God to prepare you for better things, you're going to be required to do the harder things. You're going to be required to do more things. To whom much is given, much is required. And that sometimes means, Jada, you got to fast. Or for me, that meant, Jada, you got to fast. So what prompted me to do this fast was in between that first fast I did and this one, I started and didn't finish multiple fasts. And it never was a fast from food. I've started and didn't finish fast from social media. I think I may have did one social media fast, but it was basically just taking a break from social media. It wasn't necessarily for, closer intimacy with God or anything. And this isn't even going to be an episode where I'm teaching you about fasting. This is just a testimony because I can't teach you about fasting if I am not, necessarily strong in it, okay? But in between that first fast and this fast, I fasted from things like social media, maybe getting off my phone for a day or two, or trying to and breaking it early every single time. And then within these past 6 months, within this past year, 2022, I felt prompted to go on fast so many times, but I never felt strong enough to get through it. And I always went about doing it the wrong way, and I always cut it off early. And I didn't really understand what I was doing, if I'm being honest. But honestly, that was an excuse, because if I really wanted to do it, I would have went on YouTube, looked at my favorite YouTubers that shared their testimonies on fasting and how to fast and But I didn't do it because I didn't want to do it. That's honest. So this particular month, January. So I started this fast January 6th and I ended it January 28th. It was a 21-day fast. What prompted me to start this fast the most was, again, I felt that urgency. But during the year 2022, there was a lot of things in my life that God had led me to start doing. There was a lot of questions I had. There was a lot of new directions that I felt He wanted me to go into. There was a lot of desires on my heart. There was a lot of dreams I had. There was a lot of aspirations. And there was a lot of stagnancy. There was a lot of confusion. There was a lot of misdirection. There was a lot of misguidedness. There was a lot of laziness. There was a lot of things that prevented me from getting to those things. And I was constantly sitting in this place of, God, I feel like you've placed this on my heart. God, I want to do this, but it feels like nothing's moving. It feels like nothing's happening. Am I doing something wrong? And when I got this simple direction to just fast, it felt like, well, God, what is that going to do? Or I'd start the fast and then in the middle of it, I'd be like, what am I doing this for? I don't want to do this, like, where is this going to go? It's not working. It's not doing anything. So I was in my room one day and I was thinking about all of these things that I felt like I just hadn't touched yet, that I felt like I hadn't gotten to yet. And I was like, maybe I just need to do the hard things. Like, maybe it's time that I finally step up my game in this walk. Maybe I need to. And I also had been feeling a bit distant. I don't even want to use the word distant. I just didn't feel as intimate with God as usual, where I felt His presence, where I felt His, heard His voice so consistently, so deeply, so intuitively. And so I was like, I want to connect deeper with my God. I miss Him. So part of it was that, and I had been experiencing a lot of spiritual warfare as well. If you watch one of the previous episodes, I don't remember if this was during the fast or not, but I remember explaining the episode and crying. Did not mean to do that. And crying because of the spiritual warfare I had been experiencing in my sleep. I shouldn't be freaking crying, bro. Spiritual warfare is real. And I could not figure out why I was experiencing it. And it was driving me crazy. It was making me sad, confused, and angry. I was like, God, why aren't you protecting me from this? God, why do I keep having these experiences in my sleep? What is going on? Am I doing something wrong? And again, it was me not being, and I'm going to get to that. Let me not get ahead of myself. Anyways, so I sat down that day and I was like, okay, I think I had been seeing a lot of videos too. Like, how you be on your timeline, you keep seeing videos pop up about things that maybe are on your mind, like your phone be listening to you. It was like God was trying to show me a sign through social media. Like, I would scroll and I would see videos about fasting on TikTok and I'd just be like, I ain't gonna listen to that. Or I'd be on YouTube and it'd be like a prophetic word. It would be like, time to fast. Now, I don't listen to a lot of prophetic words, but it'd be like the one person that I listen to who uploads prophetic words, she'd be saying something like, oh, it's time for you to do something different in your walk. She'd be saying, oh, it's time for you to fast. Y'all, if you listen to somebody who complains to be prophetic and all I talking about is blessings coming, all I talk about is your man is coming, your kingdom spouse is here, and they don't ever talk about what you need to fix, and they're not probably, actually prophetic. I'm not going to get too deep into that. Anyways, so I sat there and I was like, okay, it's time. I'm just going to do it. And I remember seeing this video specifically that said, when you fast, speak with God about what you need to be fasting from. Talk to God and speak to God about how to do this fast, what fast to do. And I just sat there and I was just like, okay, God, what do you want me to fast from? How do you want me to do this? And I was going to do a 21-day, I was going to do the Daniel fast, where you fast from food, certain types of food. I don't know exactly what type of food, but I think it's like you only eat like veggies and stuff. Like, it's a real healthy fast. I was going to do it from food. I didn't know what I was going to cut out, but I was like, okay, I'm not going to cut out social media. I'm going to actually do the hard thing. And I was sitting there and I was like, okay, God, what do you want me to fast from? I've tried to do this multiple times and it seems like every single time I fail. What is it that you want me to fast from? And he told me to fast from TikTok, or abstain from TikTok, I can say, for 21 days. I felt very weak when I started this fast from TikTok. I felt so weak. I was like, dang, I'm such a weak Christian in this area that I can't do a normal fast. I'm so weak in this area that I can't abstain from all social media, because I've tried to do it before and it seems like I always break and go back. I'm so weak as a Christian that I can't just, do the fast just like everybody else where they do something really committed. I just felt really weak. I was like, TikTok, what is me fasting from TikTok going to do in my life? Does that hold any weight with you, God? Like, what does this look like? I felt like that wasn't going to be enough, but it's what he told me to take a break from. So I was just like, okay. If this is what you want me to fast from, then I understand that maybe you're going to work in this weakness. I really thought that there probably wasn't going to be much power in it. And so, first of all, I feel like he wanted me to fast from it because I have an unhealthy attachment to this thing we call cellular devices, to these iPhones, okay? Which is why I feel like God has me use social media, because I'm on it so much. He used one issue to glorify his kingdom. But my excuse for that is I don't talk to a lot of people. I don't get out much. When I'm not doing nothing, if I'm not working, if I'm not making videos, I'm just scrolling and scrolling. And let me tell you something, I don't want to be either. I be telling God, I'm like, dang, God, if I was in a relationship, I would never be on my phone. I give him my attention. Like, what? Just give me my man. I'll put my phone down. But he didn't like that exchange idea. He said, fast from TikTok, because you have an unhealthy attachment to it. So I sat there in my notes. This is what I do before every fast. I go to my notes app and I make bullet points of what I want to get out of the fast. And the first thing I always make sure to put is more intimacy with God, because I don't want this to make it seem like when you want to do a fast, the goal is to get something from God. It's never to get something from God. It's to become more in tune with God, to become more in tune with your purpose, to understand what he wants for you, and to be a force of nature, be a weapon against the kingdom of darkness, to fight back against whatever is delaying your destiny, to fight back spiritually against whatever could be delaying your progress in the spirit realm, because the enemy is always going to be trying to stop you, and we may not be able to see with our physical eyes what is stopping us. And some things require prayer and fasting in order to stop it. And so I feel like, dang, there's been so much delay in my life. Maybe this is necessary. So the things that I bullet pointed in my notes that I wanted to get out of it was, first and foremost, intimacy with God. One thing I'm not going to share because that's kind of private. YouTube channel growth, a new church home plus church friends, a healthy God-centered relationship, or insight into when that will happen, self-control, renewed strength, peace, heart purification, business blessings, and a good start and favor into the new school year. So every single time something pivotal took place, I wrote down what happened by each day. Around this time, I had just moved back into school. I think January 6th was like a week into me being back in school, because I had taken the previous semester off. So this is what I wrote for day 4, which was January 10th. This day, one of my videos did very well. It was the first episode that hit 1,000 views on my YouTube channel. and I had hit 997 subscribers. I was so close to 1,000 subscribers. And it was kind of very exciting because I always feel like, dang, what if my videos, they hold no weight? What if they have no worth? And I remember seeing this verse. I forgot what verse it was, but nothing you ever do for the Lord is worthless. I felt like my videos were worthless. And sometimes I still feel like that. Like, dang, Jay, you get like 30 views sometimes. Maybe you get like 60, 80 views. Your videos, that's the devil that I be talking, okay? But I was very excited for this to happen because I felt like, dang, okay. 1,000 views? Okay. So I also got a call this day 4. I got a call from my friend. Let me just give a backstory, actually. So before I moved home, before I took a semester off from school, I was living in a dorm with my roommate. Shout out to Jordan if she's watching. We had planned to move off campus that summer and get an apartment together so that we could stay in our city, our college city, and go into the new school year in an apartment instead of living on campus housing. And that was the plan. It didn't work out though. I had to go home. I took the semester off and I wasn't able to room with her. So she went on, and of course, because she still needed a space to live, she went on, of course, and got an apartment with her boyfriend. And it was supposed to be me. I was supposed to be the third roommate. I was heartbroken, but I was also so happy for them. It just felt like, dang, I'm supposed to be with y'all, but I can't. I'm back home. I'm bored. It was very frustrating because I was like, dang, I feel like I'm supposed to be there, but I'm not. So back up to the present, day 4 of this fast. I was sitting in my bed and I got a call from homegirl Jordiana, my girl. She was like, Jada, we're trying to get out of our lease, okay? This department, they keep trying to scam us. They keep trying to upcharge our rent. We're paying too much. We're paying this much each. It's too much on us. And we're trying to get into a 2-bedroom. You want to be our roommate? I was like, hold on. Yes, I want to be your roommate. See, now at this point, when I had first moved in, I hadn't met any of my roommates or anything. I was still in my room alone. And I was just like, well, dang, that's what I wanted. I'm not uncomfortable in my situation, but that's what I wanted in the first place. This feels like a second chance. Yes. In my head, I'm like, dang, am I really going to be able to do this? I just got back to school. I don't know if my clients are going to come back because I do hair. It's like, I don't know if my clients are going to come back. Am I going to be able to afford this? I don't have a job. I'm self-employed, but that money isn't really stacked up right now. I have no savings. Are my parents going to support me? In my head, I'm like, this isn't going to happen. You know, it's not going to happen. But yeah, sure, Jordan. Yeah, let's get an apartment together. So the obstacles with that are they have to get out of their lease early. I have to get out of my lease early when I just moved into housing. Have to get out of the housing lease early, and we have to find an affordable apartment for 3 college students. Also, around that time, God had been waking me up very early. Again, I was experiencing at the beginning of this fast too, I was experiencing very intense spiritual warfare. This is something I got out of the fast that I didn't know that I needed to get out of the fast. I wanted an escape route, like a way to avoid that happening. Because yes, spiritual warfare is expected, but in my head, I'm like, this is too much. There's no way this is happening. Day 7, I had a hard day. It was the same situation before I moved back home. Before I moved back home, I wanted to transfer schools. I didn't like living on campus. I didn't like living in the college environment and being around people who live like a lifestyle that I don't really live anymore, and being in a space that I really can't control what's going on. I hated it last year, and it was like this day, I was like, dang, I don't know if this is going to work. It's like God knew that I would want to get it out of my living situation before I knew it. And so that call happened before I knew that I even wanted an apartment or wanted the chance to move in with Jordan. So that was just a really hard day for me. It was kind of like the realization that, dang, I'm really back in college. I'm really back on this campus. I don't really like it here. I go to school here, but I don't want to sleep here. You know, that was the mind space I was in. I was very discouraged and I was in like a crappy mood. I kind of just prayed through it. And that's private as well. I'm not going to share this prayer that I wrote. I was just praying that he would give me strength to the fast, that he would give me, and that these things would come through. I prayed for divine provision for the apartment. And day 8, I met Lexi. Now, y'all saw that, I think this was 2 episodes ago. Lexi came on, that lovely woman of God. She came on and we made a video together. We had been previously chatting on Instagram, and I asked her to come on the podcast, and we figured out that we lived in the same area, and she came over and we recorded the video. That made me so happy. It was such a good day because I felt like I finally found the Christian friend that I had been praying for. Like, I had been praying for Christian friends since the beginning of my walk. I was like, dang, is there no other women of God out here who have something in common with me that, want to be friends? Like, is this going to work, or am I just going to be doing this walk alone? But it was such a breath of fresh air to have that conversation with Lexi, to meet her. It made me so happy to be around her and to record that video, to have that conversation. It was like I met a sister. And she also told me that she was considering coming to my school. So it made me even more happier if I was able to see her more often. That day was just beautiful. It was beautiful. It was like an answered prayer. Just fell in my lap straight from heaven. And I got to experience it. And I felt seen from God that day. I felt like all of my tears, all of my prayers had been heard. Every single time that I had prayed for a friend to come into my life, or prayed for a woman of God or someone to confide in, or prayed for someone who I could just relate to. I feel like she just fell out the sky. Like, I felt like God really heard me that day. So day 18, I had been making so much better content, in my opinion. I feel like I was starting to actually refine those skills because, in the Christian community, there's a lot of creators, but sometimes what we create may not be the best compared to the world. And personally, I believe that when you want to do something, you should do it well. And I was kind of discouraged by, the numbers on my videos. And I wanted to make sure that I was creating something that people actually would enjoy, that I personally like to look at. And I wanted to hone those skill sets. That was always something that has been in the back of my mind, but I definitely had been going through that ugly stage, and maybe still am going through that ugly stage of trying to make sure I make good quality content, but you can't get there if you don't try. So I was finally feeling like, okay, I really like what I'm making. I like these thumbnails. I like this content. And it's not just about the word. I've always felt like the word was giving, okay? I never felt like the word was never giving. Whatever I was saying, I feel like my message has always gotten across, but maybe the aesthetics, maybe the lighting, maybe my makeup, maybe my appearance, those things matter. And I wanted to be very intentional about how I presented myself on this podcast, so I wanted it to do well. And I was starting to really like, how things were coming together. I was very happy with what I was seeing. I was hearing God more clearly in my own quiet time. I felt like I was getting answers to things that I was praying for. I felt like I could hear him on specific issues in my own life. I also was hearing a lot of timely messages and sermons from others and in person. I did find a Bible study. I found a church. I found a Bible study to go to on Tuesday nights. It's a young adults night. I showed this in the vlog, one of the vlogs, college life vlog, I'm pretty sure. But I love the pastor there. And every single Tuesday that I went, she gave a timely word and she was speaking to my life directly. I feel like I started going to that place for a reason. It was even things that I saw on YouTube, social media, videos I would come across. Like, for example, 30 Minutes with the Perrys, that podcast, Jackie Hill Perry and Preston Perry, they uploaded an episode about spiritual warfare. And it really helped me. It really encouraged me. And during one of these Bible studies that I went to in person at this young adults night, the pastor, she prayed over me. I felt led to ask for prayer, and it's something that I was really scared of. One thing, I grew up in church, but I didn't experience those things where, people are praying over you, where you have these intimate connections with people in church. I kind of went and I clung to my little sister, and then we left. I went to Sunday school. We said hi to everybody. We were church babies for a minute, but I didn't experience, those things in church. Like, oh, you're supposed to do this. Oh, this happens. I didn't really understand that. And so I kind of felt like I still have this sense of privacy in church. For example, it's very hard for me to get into a place of worship when I'm in church. It's very hard for me to cry in church and kind of be vulnerable in church. And, I can speak and I can share things. I can talk to people, but there's this thing where, since I experienced God not in a church building, in my own room, my most intimate moments with God have always been alone. It's never been, I'm in church, they sing and worship, and I'm falling to my knees. It's never been that for me. It's always been, I'm in the car and I'm crying hysterically, talking to God. Talking to God. It's never been in church. And so I've gone up and asked for prayer before. I think there was this one time during Bible study when I was in high school, and I went up during Bible study and I gave my life to Christ, and I asked, what to start reading the word in. And I was led to go to read, to start reading in Proverbs and Psalms or something. But I never really asked for prayer, like on something that I needed help in with life. And who wasn't like a sister in real life. You know what? I called my sister and I asked for prayer. I've never experienced that in church. And so that was kind of a milestone, not only for my own spiritual walk, but for establishing connections with people and actually being able to lean on people in real life and feeling like I finally found that sense of community. And so I'm so grateful for that woman of God, because I can tell that she's just, she has the love of God in her, and I felt that, and that's literally all I wanted. I wanted to find a place that, has the love of God, where I can experience the love of God. And so I went up to her and asked her for prayer about the spiritual warfare I was experiencing in my sleep, nightmares, sleep paralysis, a lot of intense things in my dreams. And she kind of guided me, encouraged me, and prayed over me. And I was in there in tears, ugly crying, sobbing. She was praying, speaking life into your girl. And I was just like, this is what I needed. This is what I needed. This is a breakthrough. And I'm grateful for that moment. I'm thankful to have that woman of God in my life now. And I'm thankful to have that community in my life now. And I'm thankful that I learned from that moment. And so moving forward, I've been having much more peace in my sleep at night. And what I got from that moment, I think, was I finally felt guided towards an answer. It was, I need to go to bed equipped with a full armor of God. I need to go to bed not scrolling on TikTok before bed, but the last thing I need to be doing before bed is praying and in my word. So I started doing quiet time at night in addition to doing it in the morning. So I was equipped for the day, but before I went to bed, I didn't have that quiet time. So I started doing it before bed and in the morning. And now it's been more like, strict before bed. Not strict, but I have a more, okay, I'm going to pray and I'm going to not be lazy about this before I go to sleep. I'm not just going to say, thank you, God, for this day. Let me have a good night in my sleep. And that's not what I was doing. But it was, let me pray specifically over what's happening. Let me take authority over my space. Let me take authority over my dreams. Let me take authority over my mind and my bed, with words and with the authority that Christ has given me. And so I started praying harder before bed. I would get into my word before bed. I speak the full armor of God over myself before I go to bed, and I get into a place of worship because I want to have a peaceful night. And I know that if I slip up, if I'm not as spiritually disciplined, then maybe that peace could be taken away. And so it's like what I said in the beginning of this video, like what's required of you in one season may not be required in the next, may be required to do more. And so if I'm going to be, growing in the things of God, if anyone is growing in the things of God, you're going to have to grow more discipline. You're going to have to grow more wisdom. You're going to have to grow in order to stay strong, and stay on the path, because the path is narrow and it's for sure hard. Also, this day, very, very happy day. So I don't know if you guys have heard of JRNE Media. JRNE Media is Issa Rae's production company. Issa Rae. I love Issa Rae, okay? Awkward black girl. I feel like everything she produces, everything she's in, I feel seen as a fellow awkward black girl, if that makes sense. But anyways, she has a production company. My cousin, who's a filmmaker, works in the company. And during fall of 2022, we had a conversation. He was telling me that JRNE Media was partnering with Walmart. They were having this Black and Unlimited digital development program for content creators, where they were going to be giving them like a $10,000 stipend, and they were going to give them courses and stuff on how to develop their content creation. He was told me to apply, but I missed that chance. I didn't get to apply in time, and I kind of felt like I missed that opportunity. I was like, dang, that would have been a good opportunity. Maybe I could have got it. I was heartbroken over it, because I'm always looking for opportunities, because your girl don't know what she's doing with her life for real. So during this day, he sent me a text and he said, oh, Jada, you should apply for this. JRNE Media, they're giving away content creator kits. And with these kits, it's $2,000 worth of creator equipment. I don't know what exactly is in it, but it was like you have to make a video, upload a video, put it on Instagram with the hashtag Black and Unlimited, sharing why you need this why you need this equipment, what you're going to do with it, so on and so forth. So I was like, okay, yeah, I'm applying. Say less, I'm applying. I felt again like this was a second chance to, get back whatever I've lost or whatever I've missed like with the apartment. I felt like I had missed that chance, but I had been getting a second chance. So I feel like I'd been getting a second chance with this content creator thing. That was day 18. Long story short, I won. I was one of the creators that was chosen to receive the content creator kit. I found out a couple of days ago. Your girl is ecstatic and so grateful. I feel like I'll be properly equipped to create better content and hopefully take this channel to the next level. And I feel like it was so timely because as soon as he sent me that message, I was like, oh dang, I really need this. My camera's falling apart, my ring light is broken. I don't really want to spend the money to buy this stuff because I'm trying to buy an apartment. I got to do this, I got to do this, I got to do this. I'm in school now. My time is being used up. Creating videos is becoming really complicated. As I was recording this video right here, as I'm recording this right now, my audio done tripped up twice. I feel like I had to go back and record two. I'm frustrated, okay? It makes it real frustrating to make these videos when everything is falling apart. Like, you know, when you're a content creator, it's a one-man show. Like, you produce everything, you record everything, you edit everything, you speak about everything. Like, you're the host, you're the filmer, you're the audio check, whatever. You're everything, and it's frustrating, especially when you don't know what you're doing. I'm not familiar with how cameras works and mics work. That's why sometimes the audio be tripping, okay? That's why sometimes the camera be tripping. That's why sometimes the light be tripping. But I'ma still show up. Anyways, it's been real frustrating making these videos. Last video I had to like stop, and it took me about, I don't know how many hours it took me to film the last video, but it took me a long time and I was heartbroken. I didn't even want to give it no more. And that's how it's starting to feel today because I'm already not even in the best mood. And this thing is tripping, but I'm just like, God, I'm trying to show up. And, you know, not letting my emotions control me. I'm going to still show up. But I feel like this would be literally what I said in the video that I gave them. Was like, winning it would be divine provision. And it will be divine provision whenever it comes in the mail. These days, you have to be making, if you want your videos to do well, you have to be making quality content. You have to be making something that people want to watch. And I already got the messages in order. God gonna use me. God gonna speak through me. He always gonna give me a message to give, but I get to be creative with however this is shared with you guys. And I love that. I'll be able to do more with whatever I get in the mail that comes. Also, this wasn't a specific day, but during the month of January, during this fast, God completely restored my hair business, my hair braiding business. If you don't know, I'm a hairstylist. I started doing hair in high school, and I just kept going, and it somehow turned into my source of income, my main source of income. At this point, as a 20-year-old, I started that Instagram page, Braids by Jada, literally just documenting my hair journey, my natural hair journey, because I cut my hair off in middle school. No, I went natural middle school, and I documented the journey, and I just kept the page, and I started posting when I did other people's hair, posting when I did my sister's hair, posting when I did my own hair. And now it's a page where, you know, I'm booking clients, and I have a consistent clientele, I have returning clients, and I make enough money a month to be able to do this, and that. And so before I left for school, I feel like things were going really well, and I had a consistent client base, and I didn't know that when I came back, I didn't know if I came back if I would still have that. I knew that I would have some because I did have some people DMing me asking me when I'd be back, but I was also worried that I wouldn't be needed anymore, that people would have found other hairstylists, because that's what happened when I went home. When I went back home during that semester off, I didn't have no clients, okay? The few clients I did have, I'm grateful for, but I was stagnant in that season. I was so frustrated. And so when I got back, during January, during that fast, I had more clients than I had entirely than the 6 months I was at home. I don't know exactly. Oh, I had 19 clients in the month of January. And so not only that, my uncle gave me a piece of advice. He told me to raise my prices a little because I was a little cheap. He told me that I didn't understand the value of my work. He was like, Jada, you're braiding, your back hurts, you're gonna mess up your fingers. Like you have finger pain. You're sitting here complaining about finger pain, your back hurts. You put in hard work, you create quality hairstyles that last a month or two. Charge more for your work. And I was just like, nah, I don't want to be that hairstylist that charges $400 for braids, you know? So he was like, raise your prices, you'll be doing half the clientele but making more money. And I was like, okay. I took his pieces of advice because sometimes God will use people to speak to you. And I feel like God was speaking through him, you know, giving me some advice, and I decided to do it. And this was when I went home. So this was before I went home. So I was at home doing nobody's hair, making no money. But I kept those prices when I came back to school, and it's exactly what happened. I had half the clients, but I was able to make more money. And so my best month of doing hair before I went home, I did 33 clients. And that month of January, I did 19 clients, and I made more money than those 33 clients. And the reason my grades were so bad last semester was because, or the semester before I went home, was because I was working too much. I was taking on too many clients because I was chasing the bag and I wasn't chasing my grades, so my grades was slipping. So this month, I can honestly say I was able to balance that. So I've been strict with myself. I was like saying, okay, Jada, only 4 clients a week, okay? 4 clients a week, you go to your classes, you get your homework done, you make these videos, and you stay focused. And I was able to do that this month. First of all, I'm just grateful for the clients that came back and the clients that were waiting for me and the clients who support me, because that's my job. See, that's a business right there. That's a small business. And I'm so grateful to have that. It just kind of came. It wasn't something where I sat down and said, okay, I want to be a small business owner. I want to be a hair braider. No, it did just happen. Like all my life, I've just done hair. At 5 years old, I just played in my hair, and it's kind of just a blessing. It's a talent that the Lord has given me, and I'm grateful that I'm able to support myself off that, because the way that things are going, the way that my books are looking, I will be able to support myself, and I will be able to pay rent. I'll be able to pay my big girl bills when I move into my apartment, and I'm grateful for that. I'm really grateful for that. Speaking of an apartment, so me and my roommates, Jordan, Julian, and I, shout out to them if they're watching. I don't know if they watch these videos, but we were looking for an apartment. Jordan took the spearhead on this. Jordan took control of this. I call it, she's the smart friend, y'all. God put Jordan in my life for a reason. That girl's always thinking. When I first met her, she had me in the library. She had me in the gym. In the previous year, I was out partying all the time. That girl was focused. I love her. And she a homebody. She don't like to party. So God put her in my life for a reason, because if it wasn't for her, I would still be outside. So anyways, Jordan was looking for an apartment. She has her stuff together. Jordan was looking for the apartments, and she found, if my camera dies, the rest of the video will be an audio episode. We went looking for places in person, and we found a few places, but they were a little bit out of our price range. I mean, wanted something we would all be comfortable with. 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms was our goal. She wanted a luxury apartment. She wanted something that looked really nice, and I was on board with whatever she wanted. I wasn't going to be really picky. I was scared that I wasn't going to be able to afford whatever we found, but we were looking at apartments one day in a specific building, and as we were leaving, we were like, dang, that's nice, but it's a little expensive. She's like, okay, what if we go to these apartments? So we go across the street, we pull up to these apartments, and we decide to tour the place. We love the place, we love how it looks, and they had a 2 bedroom, 2 bathroom, 2 master bedroom, 2 bathroom that we would all be comfortable in our price range, and we got approved a few days ago. And I'm so excited. We move in next month. And so y'all will see a new apartment tour coming soon on the channel. Besides that, there were also a bunch of random blessings throughout this fast. I was blessed with cash. I was blessed with money, from random places. I was blessed with favor going into the new school year, as I prayed for. I'm happy with my teachers. I'm happy with my classes. I was waitlisted to one of my classes, and I was able to get off the waitlist. It was one of my requirements for this semester. If I didn't get it, I would probably be really behind, but I was able to get into that class. I like my professors for the most part. I'm not really a big fan of school, but it's a blessing to be here, and I know that this is probably where God wants me. And so I had a really good start with this school year, and I'm really happy with what my life looks right now. And all glory to God. Your bad days are gonna come. This video was kind of, a chance for me to meditate on the good things, because the devil's always going to be trying to steal your joy. The world is wicked. The world is always going to be trying to steal your joy, and it's a good thing just to know God, because God is always going to be good and pure and love in your life. And so it's a blessing to know him and to have him, because when the world is throwing, bullets at you, when the world is not treating you as you should, when the world is reminding you how wicked they are, you know, you can always go to God and say, I just love that you love me. God is faithful and God hears your prayers. I really hope this encourages you in some way, shape, or form. Just keep the faith. Be faithful to Him and be patient with Him, because I was praying for these things for a very long time. I was praying for an apartment for a very long time. I was praying for friends for a very, very long time. Praying for a new church friends for a very long time. And it felt like sometimes those things were never going to come. And it still feels like some things that I'm praying for aren't going to come. On that list, I said I was praying for a healthy, God-centered relationship. And dating in this generation, especially in the Bay Area, it's hard. It's ghetto. It's not hard. It's literally ghetto. But I'm not gonna, give up and say, okay, God doesn't love me because He won't give me this. That's not what this is about. Sometimes life is gonna be hard, and that's just that. We have to be patient. We're on this earth for years. We're on this earth for, it feels like a short time, but we're here for, the average age most people die is around 70 or 80. We're here for a good time, a good amount of time. And so sometimes things take time. If we got everything within a year, then what would we spend all of the other years doing? And so it's about enjoying the journey. And so I'm going to embrace the hard moments. Today was one of those hard days. Today was one of those days where I didn't want to do anything. Today was one of those days where I didn't want to record anything, where I kind of just wanted to mope around in my bed, but I wanted to show up for God and say, I'm going to keep the faith and I'm going to keep remaining who You've called me to be. Now I'm going to stay faithful to You because of what Your word says, because of what Your promises are. And moving forward, I'm definitely going to fast more frequently because it's necessary in this walk, See, don't fall into the world's strange teachings. It says that in the end days, there's going to be false teachings, strange teachings, and people are going to try to lead you astray. I know we live in this microwave generation and they're all about manifestation. I feel like, people go into those ways because they're worried about, their own happiness and what they want out of life. But sometimes it's not what it's about. It says that also in the last days, people would be self-absorbed. Sometimes it's not just about you. Your blessings are for others too. But fasting is not just about getting something out of it. And you may be like, oh, let me go manifest some things. Let me try manifestation. Like on social media, people say, oh, I manifested my apartment. I manifested this job. I manifested this life. I manifested this boyfriend. I don't believe in manifestation. And that's not me saying I don't believe it works. That's me saying I'm not the author of my own life. That's me saying that not every good thing is a God thing. And so just be careful who you're listening to and get in your word. Get in your word, love. But that's all I have for you guys today. If you enjoyed this video, please come back. Please spin back. Come see me, listen to me again, and have a blessed day. Bye, y'all.